Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Brendan Schaub to defeat Ben Rothwell. And I'm here to talk about Bryan Battle versus Ange Loosa. My pick for this fight is Bryan Battle. I've got him winning a decision, I guess. And I have bet on it at minus 140. I like that, but I don't love it because Bryan Battle is a slower starter. He's a very unimposing athlete. And he's also fighting someone in Ange Loosa who is ostensibly impossible to finish. I love that word, ostensibly. Uh, Ange Loosa has only been finished once as an amateur, was by a knee bar, but he's never been knocked out. His 3 losses as a pro all come by decision, and they're to good fighters. He lost to Monir Lazez in the UFC, I think his debut, and he lost to Jack Della Maddalena on the Contender Series in a pretty close fight, believe it or not, very close fight. But despite fighting those killers, no one's knocked him out. He lost both those fights, and those guys are both savages, especially Jack. And Jack definitely had him hurt, but wasn't able to get him out of there. And Ange Loosa put him in trouble too. Was able to rip him to the mat in rounds 2 and 3. Had him in an arm triangle choke that looked pretty deep in round 2. Ange Loosa gave Jack hell, but Jack turned things around. And at the very end, I thought the final seconds of the fight sealed the deal and stole the fight, or secured the fight, I should say. But Ange Loosa is, again, very, very durable. Despite having seen him rocked a few times, he's durable, and I think if Bryan Battle was to win, it'd be by decision. I think Battle's best chance of getting a finish over Ange Loosa is not the head kick knockout that we've seen from him. It's actually him getting on top of Ange Loosa, getting on top of him in the middle of a grueling fight, putting that long frame on top of him and doing the Bryan Battle thing, the round 2 submission thing, which he's got a few of those, but it gets to what I was talking about before, how he's a slow starter. Bryan Battle has won via round 2 submission against AJ Fletcher, Andre Petrosky, and Gilbert Urbina in the last few years, and he's been down in all 3 of those fights, had a rough first round. So in a 15-minute fight, a 3-round fight, it doesn't give me a lot of trust especially against a guy that I think is durable enough to survive Battle's offense. So that's why I'm a little trepidatious, really bringing out the big words here. But I think Bryan Battle should still win this fight. I think while he's not the most dangerous striker, the danger is certainly showing itself lately. Gabe Green and Takashi Sato, he knocked both of them out inside of a minute, which is incredible. Those are 2 of his last 3 wins or whatever. And the only guy to really take him out since he's arrived on the UFC scene is Rinat Fakhretdinov. Rinat Fakhretdinov out-wrestled Bryan Battle, and he knocked him down in round 3. But Battle, he's a guy that I don't think you want to spend too much time wrestling with him, because if it goes wrong and Battle reverses position, he's on top of you, and you don't want that guy on top of you. Certainly not in round 2, and I imagine it gets worse in round 3. But Ange Loosa is a very good striker as well. If he decides, because Ange Loosa is a very good grappler, but if he decides to strike, Ange Loosa is a good striker as well, can fight well from the outside, closing the distance. Because he's the sharper athlete, but I'd still favor Battle there. I think Battle can duplicate the success that this guy, Jonathan Wilson or Jonathan Thompson, I think the guy that beat Ange Loosa in the LFA or whatever, that was a fight where Ange Loosa was outstruck from the outside and rocked in round 2 or the end of round 1 or whatever, but he was rocked in that fight as well. But that's the pick. I got Battle winning. I guess by decision would be the pick, but Bryan Battle, if he is able to get on top of anybody, right away in my mind, submission is more likely, or a finish of any sort from the top position. And Ange Loosa, his path to victory, I'd say it's a decision, but Battle has been knocked out once, 7-8 years ago, as an amateur at heavyweight in his first fight ever, but still he was knocked dead. And he was submitted once in his first pro loss in 2019 or so. So While I don't know exactly what it would look like if Ange Loosa beat Bryan Battle, and it could look any which way, I would think it would be by decision. And it would be Ange Loosa winning with his athletic advantage. But again, Battle is the pick, and he's the small bet at minus 140. I think there's a little bit of value there. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.